Layla Sjolander. Every child is capable of succeeding. Every child is capable of learning and capable of succeeding, is a quote said by Robert John Mayer. Everyone in this room has struggled with learning something that seemingly everyone else around them has already understood. This is especially true for children who do not speak the language that the material is being taught in. The National Education Association needs to add additional programs for children who are learning English in our schools. First, I will tell you about the problems that English learning children face in school, and then I will offer the solution of adding additional programs. First of all, I would like to tell you a little bit about who these children are. The Glossary of Education Reform defines English language learners, or ELLs, as students who are unable to communicate fluently or learn effectively in English. These children are not getting enough assistance to succeed in our schools. The National Center for Education Statistics that works with the United States Department of Education reported in 2014 that there are 4.5 million students in the United States that do not speak English. They also reported that there are only 3 types of classes offered to ELL children: English as a second language, high-intensity language training, and bilingual education. For these classes, children are taken out of the mainstream classroom and moved to different rooms where they are alone, so they do not get to form the friendship or have the camaraderie that comes with being classmates. These classes also do not help with communication between teachers, parents, and students. Mary Ellen Flannery, a senior editor and reporter for the National Education Association, stated in her article, "A New Look at America's ELLs," that the language barrier is the #1 reason immigrant parents do not come to conferences. This is a problem everywhere, but it is especially a problem in Minnesota. The English Learner Guide, published by the Minnesota Department of Education in 2012, reported a 300% increase in the number of ELL kids in Minnesota in the past 20 years. And also, Michael Zitalo, a former special education teacher, reported in his 2012 article, "Ranks of English Learners Swelling in Minnesota Schools," that Minnesota now ranks 15th nationally among language diversity. There are 65,000 students in Minnesota who do not speak English, and 11 of them right here in the Zumbrota-Mazeppa School District. These students are typically not allowed to participate in honors, advanced placement, or college courses, even if they are to that level in their native language, because they aren't in English. Now that you know a little bit about these problems, I would like to move on to my solution. Students need to be offered programs that are in both languages. This will help change the idea that students need to be fixed by learning English to students can be bilingual and well-rounded in both of their languages. My solution would offer more than 3 classes for these students. With more than 3 classes, they would be more likely to come to school and have a better attitude during the school day so they could learn more. These students would then be able to reach their full potential in all of their classes. Many students across the nation have benefited from programs like these, but schools have not integrated them on a basis like this. With these classes added, graduation rates would increase. Dylan Scott, an employee for the Center for Education Reform, stated in his 2012 article, "Graduation data shows states struggle with English learners that 60% or less of ELL kids graduate each year. Compared to the 80% of English-speaking students that graduate, that statistic is much too low." Education is one of the most important things people can receive, and I believe that everybody should have the fair chance to get that education. With programs like these integrated into our schools, students would have a higher graduation rate, be more likely to move on to higher level education like college, and then they would get higher paying jobs that would improve the qualities of our communities and their individual lives. In conclusion, ELL students need more programs put in place by the National Education Association. I hope you've learned that through learning about the students, hearing their problems, and listening to my solution. When we think about the future for these students, it is important to remember the words of George Evans: "Every student can learn, just not on the same day or in the same way."